You walk into a beautiful model home, smells brand new, the kitchen looks perfect, the furniture is staged better than your entire life. And suddenly the on-site representative is asking your name, email address, phone number, and whether you're ready to write a contract today. But before you sign anything, there's one question you need to ask. Who does that representative actually work for? Because the friendly person inside the model home may be extremely helpful and professional, but they represent the builder's interest, not yours. So today we're exposing what every new construction buyer needs to understand before walking into a builder's sales center. We'll explain what your own realtor can negotiate, what can go wrong during construction, what inspectors still need, and why builder incentives aren't always as simple as they sound. Then Dane and I are going to take you inside some of the biggest new construction communities in Green Cove Springs and the Lake Asbury area, including the Rookery, Annabelle Island, Lake Sabella Lago, Highland Trail, Granary Park, and the future Saratoga Springs development. And don't forget Laurelton. And finally, we're going to break down the growing 55-plus market that's also going to include Eldenbrook at Highland Trail and what's coming up next. So grab your coffee or something stronger, because this model home may be gorgeous, but the contract is still written by the builder, and let's unrake it.
Let's do it.
Okay, welcome to Real Estate UnRaked, episode 49.
49. We're almost to the 50 mark.
We are almost to the 50 mark, and we're doing good today. It's Dane and I again this week. And last week we had a really good conversation about AI and how it can help the buyer, but how it won't replace realtors.
60% of the time, it works every time.
And it's going to really take the industry and actually the world to the next level.
Right.
It already has. And you still need a realtor.
Right. It's a great tool if you know how to use it, but it's not going to replace a realtor for sure.
But here's the other thing that we're talking about right now that is also very, very important to have your own representation for, your own real estate agent.
Mm-hmm.
And let's begin by clearing some things up. That's something important, actually, is we're not attacking builder representatives at all. Many of them are knowledgeable, professional, and excellent at their jobs.
Yep.
But their job is to sell homes for the builder. They can explain floor plans, home sites, upgrades, construction timelines, and builder incentives. What they generally cannot do is independently advise the buyer against the interest of the company employing them.
That's correct. Think of it this way. If you're involved in a lawsuit, you wouldn't walk over to the other side's attorney and say, "You seem nice. Can you protect me too?" No. The home site representative may be friendly, but friendly and fiduciary are not the same thing.
You know, it's all covered up in the pretty model homes and, you know, all the newness. But at the end of the day, the builder's the seller.
Right.
The sales representative is there to protect the builder's pricing, policies, inventory, timeline, and profit margin. A buyer's realtor is there to help the buyer evaluate the entire transaction, not merely explain what the builder is offering. The on-site representative sells the builder's homes, not every available community. They are not expected to tell buyers that another builder may offer a better fit. They may explain the builder's contracts, but they do not independently negotiate that contract for the buyer.
Right.
They are responsible for protecting the confidential builder information. Buyers should understand the difference between receiving information and receiving independent representation.
Yeah, the model home rep can tell you how beautiful the kitchen is. You realtor should be asking why the refrigerator blinds and half the lights aren't included. So
that's right. A lot of blinds and even garage door openers aren't included.
Yeah, no doubt. So one of the biggest mistakes buyers make is visiting communities alone and calling the realtor afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Builders establish their own realtor registration policies, and each one is different. You know, some require a realtor to accompany or register the buyer during the first visit. Registering online, calling the builder, or touring alone may affect whether the buyer later use their chosen realtor under the builder's policy. Rules vary by builder and community. The safest move is to call your realtor before requesting information or entering the sales center. If you already visited, disclose that immediately so your realtor can determine what options remain.
Even if you're just looking, call us first. Nobody in history of model homes has ever remained just looking after seeing the oversized kitchen island.
Yeah, no doubt.
And remember this, buyer representation. So the buyer agent compensation is negotiable. It always has and always will be. A written buyer agreement explains what services your realtor will provide and how compensation will be handled. the representation is never automatically free. All right. The builder may offer compensation towards the buyer's realtor, but terms differ. Okay. Builder compensation should always be confirmed before writing that contract, which we always do anyway.
Yep.
If builder paid compensation doesn't cover the agreed amount, the buyer and the realtor need to discuss the difference between moving forward. And a buyer should understand the representation and compensation agreement before the touring.
Mm-hmm.
So Florida Realtors describes a written buyer's agreement as a document outlining the professional services and compensation. Those agreements and the compensation terms are usually and always negotiable.
Yep, always.
So comparing builders and communities, the builder representative can tell you why their community is right for you. The realtor can tell you and help you determine whether it actually is. So we compare multiple builders without being tied to one sales center. We examine commute times and future road developments. We compare the school zoning while explaining the boundaries that may change, which in new construction and seeing nothing around you, you never know what's going to come up.
Right. There's a new construction out in Lake Asbury right now. As a matter of fact, the front of the entrance, they are building a little strip mall, if you will. Nothing major, just little shops there, but nobody knows about it. So I did some digging in before I showed the home, about a month ago, and I made sure they knew ahead of time that, hey, they're planning to build a little strip mall up here. Not sure if you won't know about maybe a little extra traffic trying to get in and out of your neighborhood. Not once did the builder representative mention any of that. I brought it to his attention. He goes, well, yeah, that's true. That is going to happen. So he didn't volunteer it.
Well, we're tied into city and county departments where we actually go to the meetings.
Right.
So we know what the planning department and development department is coming up with. Because all that stuff is already pre-planned.
Right. And you know what? Our last episode talking about AI, AI is a great tool to let you know what's coming to the communities, what has been permitted, what has been planned, when the city, county commissioners, whoever are meeting, so you can get that information from them.
Yeah, no, that's a really great point, Dane. So not only can we see that, because even the builders change their plans. They may have an outline of what they need to do. For example, we had one builder that decided not to build on a certain area that was supposed to be considered preserved, that they're going to, and they end up selling that whole section to another builder,
a different builder.
And instead of putting the nice homes that are 500 plus, they're putting townhomes in
right at the front
of the community.
Yep.
So that upset a lot of people that already bought in there.
Right.
We actually had a customer in there too when we found out about that.
Absolutely. And she was not happy about it. I can tell you that.
And the builder representative had no idea.
No, we actually shared that information with him at that time.
We did. So not only can we see that stuff, that's why it's a good thing to have somebody like us at your side with that. But we also analyze the HOA restrictions and CDD assessments. That's been a huge thing for new communities as well, because things can change once you move in.
Right.
And we can pay attention to that. We also can compare included features versus the upgrades that you got to pay for. We can evaluate locations inside the neighborhood as well. Kind of if you want to be on a preserved view, if you want to be on a water view, do you want to be backed up to somebody's backyard? All these different 50, 60 foot land sites that you can pick from. We can go there and literally walk it and figure it out. Which is going to be the best one for you.
Absolutely.
Again, we just talked about, considering future development, resale competition, and exit strategy. Right now, the way the market is, there's a lot of people trying to resell the homes that they bought in these new communities 2 years ago, trying to get out or relocate. Well, here's the deal. You're fighting against, guess what? The builder that's still building in the area. But we also compare the inventory of homes and the built from scratch options as well.
Right. Two homes can advertise the same starting price, but after the lot premium, structural options, design center selections, closing costs, HOA, and CDD, they may not even be remotely close.
No.
So the price on the sign is where a conversation begins, but not necessarily where the buyer finishes. Costs, you need to investigate everything. You got to investigate base price. Every home site or lot has a premium, whether you're backing up to a pond, a golf course, preserve, what have you. Elevation premium, how you want the front of the home to look. Usually there's 3 different premiums that they offer.
Right. Different elevations.
Right. Elevations. Yep. Structural options, design center selections. That's where they get you. When you want those upgraded countertops or cabinets or flooring, they'll get you good. Appliance packages, window covering, lighting and ceiling fan packages. All this stuff adds up. Garage door openers, as you touched on earlier.
Yeah.
Fencing, gutter. And I'm going to tell you right now, fencing right now is crazy expensive.
It is.
It's crazy. It's gone up so much. Landscaping, HOA, CDD fees, estimated property taxes, closing costs, and prepaid expenses. Post-closing expenses such as refrigerator, washer, dryer, blinds, fencing, all that adds up.
It does. That $349,000 house can hit a $425,000 mark faster than Dane can find the snack table at an open house.
That's why I always inspect the pantry first. Always.
We've been doing pretty good with that. We were actually just talking about health stuff just before we started the episode. We've been doing really well here lately. We've been taking care of ourselves. We've been feeling better.
Mm-hmm.
It's what we get for being old, right?
Getting old is not for the weak. I can assure you that.
I'm glad that we're both doing well.
Yep.
But anyway, these builder incentives can be extremely valuable for buyers right now. And that's probably one of the things why buyers are really kind of going after new construction versus resale.
Mm-hmm.
But buyers need to understand what they're exchanging to receive them. You know, the incentives may apply to one specific type of inventory home. The promotional interest rate may require their preferred lender.
Right.
Closing costs, contributions can have lender and loan program limits.
Right.
Temporary rate buy down is different from a permanent rate reduction. That lowest interest rate does not automatically create the best overall deal. Compare lender fees, points, your APR, your cash to close, and your monthly payment. An incentive may be built into the home pricing as well. Buyers should also request side-by-side loan estimates whenever possible. And the last thing is really some buyers benefit more from price reductions, upgrades, and closing cost help than anything. And that's really been the hot button right now in today's market.
Yeah, the closing cost help or no closing costs at all. You know, some builders are offering 0 closing costs, and that helps tremendously. Free closing costs aren't free if the loan costs more than for the next 30 years, though. So you got to watch out for those.
That's right.
You got to be sure to discuss, you know, pond versus conservation versus another future phase, morning or afternoon sun exposure. And as a matter of fact, I had this just recently. A couple I was working with loved the house, got the price negotiated with the new builder, saved them, believe it or not, $34,000, agreed to it.
Ooh.
It was their end of the fiscal year, so they were willing to bend over backwards, ready to move in or ready to put the offer in. They said, let's look at it one more time. And when they came in, I said, there's one thing I would like to share with you. I said, I know y'all like to go in your backyard and relax in the evenings. This backyard faces the west. And if you live in Florida in the summertime, a west-facing backyard is hot as fire. You might as well be jumping in a fire pit.
Yep.
And once I said that, even though the deal was pretty much done, I had that obligation to tell them, you're not going to enjoy that as a realtor. You know, yeah, did I lose the deal at that particular moment? I sure did. We're still looking now. It's what they wanted, what was best for the buyer.
Yeah.
And so that did it right there. Just the east-west.
East-west will do it. And, you know, that's something that nobody thinks about because they keep thinking about all the high ceilings, the cleanliness of the home, everything's great. But then when you get into the house and they're doing everyday life and they want to go out and enjoy that, like you had said, guess what? Boom.
Yeah, and that's something we do, our team. And I would assume most realtors do it or should do it, I should say. But that's, you know, honesty is one of the best things, even if it causes a deal not to go through. And one thing you got to look out for, too, when you're looking at home sites, drainage and grading, easement and utility boxes, you know, retaining walls, road noise. That's a huge one.
That is a huge one.
And traffic entering and leaving the community. If you're on that main drag, there's a certain neighborhood that has thousands of homes. You don't want to be near the front of that entrance.
No, you don't.
And also you need to look for if there's going to be future construction behind the property, you know, distance to amenities in that neighborhood, school or commercial sites shown in development maps, flood zone considerations. And anywhere in Florida, you're nowhere near safe. You always got to pull up the FEMA flood zone. Yep. Homes on curves, cul-de-sac, near mail kiosk, and resale desirability. You got to make sure, you know, you can resell it if you're looking to move 5 years or so down the road.
Right. Well, a beautiful model can distract you from buying the worst positioned lot in the neighborhood. The dirt matters just as much as the floor plan does.
Absolutely.
Where we actually help people is, you know, we help manage construction deadlines, the loan application requirements, the deposit scheduling, design appointments, builder communications, construction updates, the change order documentation, the walkthrough scheduling, inspection coordination, closing date changes, and that punch list to follow through. I love blue tape days. But one of the things that I pride myself on is I know when the county inspector dates are coming up on the build. I know when the sod's going in. I know when the irrigation's going in. One thing I always like to put in my new home packets is when we're closing is a handwritten map of where your irrigation lines are.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because there's nothing worse than getting into it and then you have a bad sprinkler head. Granted, it's probably going to be covered under warranty.
Right.
But if it isn't and it needs immediate repair and you need to take care of it, I had that all drawn out for you before they lay the sod, and I know exactly where everything's at where all the heads are at.
That's a great help for sure.
Sure is. I'm sorry.
I was about to say new construction does not mean stress-free construction. It means the problems are newer.
No doubt. Well, brand new doesn't mean perfectly built. You've got that pre-drywall inspection. Oh my God. I can tell you stories. That's final inspection before closing, the reinspection after repairs, doing a sewer scope inspection when appropriate, that 11th month warranty inspection before the builder warranty expired. That is probably one of the most important things that I talk about. But items that may be discovered, and even when you've done in home inspections, Dane, you've found a bunch of stuff like this.
Right. And this is, now we're talking new home construction. We're not talking, all right, so pay attention, people. This is important. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
but missing insulation and just kind of not put where it needs to be, plumbing or electrical concerns, roof installation defects, improper drainage, HVAC issues, damaged trusses, windows or doors that do not seal properly, cosmetic damage, incomplete repairs, code compliance concerns. I mean, there's specifications that builders got to go through, but it's a range.
Right.
You know, I want you to tell me the story that you had with the garage floor on our new construction.
Right. We had a new construction and the garage floor, the cement in it had quite a few cracks. They were borderline too big. We discussed it. We went round and round. The new builder agent on the site there even had to go higher up. But what we ended up, how we resolved this situation was we had them epoxy the 3-car garage at no charge to the buyer.
Yep, no charge.
And that was a big deal. So,
and down on the buyer representation, but their hands were tied.
Right. That's exactly right. And he could only do so much.
With your buyer, they wouldn't have got that, and they would have either had to deal with it or lose their binder and walk away.
Yeah.
And they put quite a bit of money down on the house.
Oh, they did. They put quite a few. And one of the other things, even though it's a new home, an inspection is so important. Not only was that one of the issues there, but also the vent over the stove. It was not even connected to the pipe going out of the rooftop. It was just the pipe was never put together to vent the air out. And that's what we found on the inspection. Either if it wasn't for that inspection, we would have never known that.
Right.
And neither would the buyer.
Well, the builder buys stuff in bulk.
Yeah.
And just like, any major department store or anything like that sells stuff to you. So I had one where an AC unit was aged out and wasn't working right.
Right.
Because of the date. It was a 2-year-old AC unit that they put in a brand new home that hadn't been lived in yet. And we got them to replace the entire AC unit.
Wow. That's awesome.
Just because, it didn't have the airflow in it the way it needed to.
Right. Well, the house may be brand new, but the subcontractor could still be having a very, very bad Tuesday.
You never know. Or it's that Friday and they want to get going.
Right. Right.
So that happens all the freaking time. It's remember, when I was in the auto industry, people say don't buy cars that were built on Fridays and Mondays. Let's talk about builder contracts real quick. They are different. Every single builder has a different contract. The builder's contract was written for the builder. Doesn't automatically make it unfair, but it does make it different from the resale contracts that most buyers have seen. So deposits, the deposits that buyers put down may become non-refundable. We talked about that. Builders may have a broader array of construction delay rights. Completion dates may be estimated instead of guarantees. Material substitutions may be permitted. Appraisal protections may be limited as well. Financing deadlines may be strict. Builders may control the title company and closing process, which most of the time they do. Buyers may have limited remedies for delays and disputes. Warranty coverage and dispute resolutions clauses matter a lot. And a realtor can identify these business and transaction concerns immediately. Legal interpretation should come from a qualified real estate attorney, though.
Absolutely. When somebody says it's just a standard builder contract, what they really mean is standard for that builder, not necessarily comfortable for the buyer.
Right. All right. Well, we kind of gave you guys a good overlay of kind of where things are at with builders and what to kind of look out for. So let's talk about the new stuff now. So we're going to give you guys a really good overview of all the new construction that's currently going on in Cove Springs, Florida, and why Clay County is going to be a hot spot of some really cool communities that are coming out, and why the Rakers Home Group and having us represent you during these new communities is going to be a plus, because not only do we take the time to go out there and visit it and stay up to date on what's going on, not only on the building and the development of the whole community itself, but we know incentives. We have relationships with the
builders,
yeah. And we know what's going on. Heck, I know there's a couple builders. We actually went and participated in their training on their build quality. So we can tell you the difference between each home and each model home, because every builder has different classifications of that.
Yep.
But Cove Springs and the Lake Asbury area have become a major new construction destination because buyers can find a wide range of homes, growing amenities, Clay County access, and the improving regional connectivity with that, the Tollway 23 coming in. That is going to be an absolute game changer for our area.
Right.
Area wide for us, the historic Cove Springs sits along the St. Johns River. Spring Park and the city's waterfront identity remains one of the major local attractions that we see in that area. So the 32043 area includes both the historic city and, sustainable growth west towards the Lake Asbury area.
Right.
New construction ranges from lower maintenance townhomes to larger single family homes and active adult communities now. Again, that First Coast Expressway is changing regional travel patterns and driving development. I can't wait till the bridge gets done.
Yeah, once that Shands Bridge is done, it's going to be easy, quick access to the other side of town. Or, most people in Jacksonville, no matter what side of the river you're on, they hate going across the river.
No doubt.
So this will help that out quite a bit.
But buyers must compare the lifestyle and location, not merely just use Cove Springs as one broad category. Some communities feel like rural and residential. Others are going to be large amenity-driven master plans. The HOA, the CDD, the taxes, the commute, the lot size, and include features differ significantly through each community itself. So we're going to jump in right now with the Rookery by D.R. Horton. All right, the Rookery is an important option buyer because it focuses on attainability and variety. It's located also in Cove Springs with both single-family homes and townhome opportunities.
Right. Now, this one is located just south of Cove Springs City.
So just south of 16.
Right.
You kind of go down further right before you get to, is it right before the exit for the tollway?
Yes, it's right before the 23 exit right there on 17.
They just opened up their main entranceway that goes over top of the railroad tracks. They got a huge bridge that goes up. Yeah. It's really nice. But this community appeals to first-time buyers, growing households, and buyers seeking newer construction at a more accessible price point. D.R. Horton's marketing smart home features across many plans. Their multiple floor plan sizes allow buyers to balance payment and space. Buyers should compare the townhome and single-family HOA structures as well, and look closely at the home site position, the future development, and total monthly payment. Inventory incentives may differ from to-be-built offerings. So they've got a lot of, like you said, ready-built homes already that are spec-built. Those are the ones going to have the great incentives on it, like the super low interest rates and
no closing
costs. That's happened, and they got a lot of stuff for the veterans, the VA buyers.
Right,
those are huge.
Absolutely. And townhomes may provide lower entry price and less exterior maintenance. Single-family buyers may gain more privacy and yard space. Buyers should investigate what the HOA maintains. Review parking rules, guest parking, residential restrictions, and fencing. And, fencing, each community is different. Some will allow certain type of fencing. Some will allow any kind of fencing. So you got to make sure of that.
Right.
Consider resale competition if numerous Consider resale competition if numerous similar new homes remain available when the owner later sells. Rookery currently advertises single-family homes and townhomes, with the townhomes beginning in the $260,000. Availability and pricing can change. Now, one thing I want to point out with the Rookery as well is one of the things we do, with the city commissioners and all that. I know they're building a shopping center right at the entrance there, where it's going to be anchored by a major grocery store. Now, that grocery store has not been determined yet.
No.
Could be Publix, could be something else. But that is one of the major things that's going to have the grocery store with a few other shops there. So that's something else to look out for.
That's exciting to hear.
Yep. So our next one we're going to go to is Annabelle Allen by KB Home. Annabelle Allen is a strong choice for buyers who want more ability to personalize their home. It's located off Russell Road in the Lake Asbury area. And KB Homes offer classic and executive collections. These different collections provide different home sizes, pricing, and options. KB Homes design process can appeal to buyers who want more customization. So you can go in there, say, I want it like this or not like this, up to a degree. You can't just reshape the whole house.
Yeah.
Buyers need a firm design center budget before choosing upgrades. And they need to ask which structural decisions must be made early, because before they start the process of building, their engineers or whatever have to redesign what they're asking.
Right. And see if it's even possible to.
Right. Exactly. And then they need to compare the base home features carefully between collections.
No doubt. So the current advertised starting price points are approximately right around the 262 range for the Classic Series and right around the 291, 990 for the Executive Series, before the home site premiums and options are added to it.
Right.
Available homes generally span between 3 to 5 bedrooms. Buyers should compare at least personalized build against the quick move-in. A quick move-in may offer a greater incentive because obviously the builder needs to move on it, but less customization. You can confirm whether appliances, blinds, the fans, the gutters, fencing, and other daily use items are included, and determine whether the chosen upgrades are personal preferences or improvements that could help with the resale later on. But again, the current builder information lists the Classic Series, again, from the 262 range, and that Executive Series that they're building out there, starting around the 291, 990. And again, subject to those premium changes and upgrades that you want to do. So one of the things that we've actually sold a couple homes in and done a lot is that Lake Sabella Lago community. And there's always something about that community that I like. It's nice. It's well off the main road.
Right.
And that's Sand Ridge Road.
Yep.
But Lake Sabella Lago is designed around water, open space, the amenities, and access to the growing Lake Asbury area. It has that master plan neighborhood with homes from multiple builders and collect. Anatomy Homes and Meritage Homes offers buyers different floor plans, features, and construction approach. The amenities advertised includes a community lake, pool, clubhouse, and the playground. The proximity of the First Coast Expressway is an important regional selling point as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just going to be, because all the ones that we're talking about will be right around there.
That's right.
The buyers, when they go look at this place, they should compare the builder contracts and include features, not to assume that every home in the same neighborhood is packed identically.
Right.
There's a lot of energy efficient features with these two homes by Mattamy and Meritage, and that also can affect your monthly ownership cost. It keeps things low.
And that's a huge point too, especially those that are kind of tight budget. You need to compare lot size, home orientation, and distance from amenities too there.
Yeah.
Determine whether a waterfront or a pond view premium will support future resale.
Mm-hmm.
Ask what portions of the community will remain to be built, and they still building in that community.
They're starting phase 3 right now.
Yeah, they've opened it up and started building. Yeah. Consider construction traffic during development period. Review HOA and CDD obligations and when assessments begin. And compare the included finished packages before visiting the design center. So you can look at these homes, the spec homes, if you will, and see what some of these packages have in there. And not all of them are the same. They do offer different elevations and different packages inside the homes.
Now, one of the things before we jump into Highland Trail is everything that we've talked about so far and everything that we haven't talked about. We get actual weekly emails of the current inventory and the current incentives for these homes.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of your major incentives, again, are going to be on the quick move-in stuff, but they offer some of those incentives for your custom build. But us as realtors, we stay up to date on that. Now, not every realtor gets that information. You have to go out and ask for it.
Well, yeah, you got to go visit them and get a relationship with them.
And we're out there weekly. In between us taking care of our normal customers and doing things, we're out there weekly getting that information. That way, if we ever, find somebody that would want to be in new construction, we're able to share that to them and educate them and provide them the knowledge.
Right.
We're an absolute huge resource for new construction all over the place. So it's almost beneficial to talk to a real estate agent about new construction.
Absolutely.
And if you're talking to the right ones, they can sit there and start talking to you about it instead of, you know what, hey, let's go take a look and go visit a few of those places together and find out. Those are the people that's a dead giveaway right there that realtor is not going around visiting people.
No doubt. And Meritage currently promotes open concept homes with access to a pool, clubhouse, playground, and a community lake. Meritage Homes at Lake Sabella Lago and Mattamy also support separate collection within the community. So next neighborhood, our very first new home community, Highland Trail.
Highland Trail. That was the first video that we ever did.
And as we look back, we're like, wow. But anyway, Highland Trail is a great community and has a lot to offer. It's one of the area's significant master plan communities and offer multiple builders, housing styles, and active adult component. It's located along the Russell Road corridor and Henley. Yep. Designed as a larger master plan environment rather than a small standalone subdivision. Offers standard residential sections and separate Edenbrook, which is a 55-plus neighborhood, which is great for those that are looking to downsize.
Yeah.
Or, just to have an adult community to live into.
I like that the maintenance and all that stuff's taken care of there.
Absolutely.
Outdoor stuff.
Multiple builders allow buyers to compare floor plans, lot sizes, architectural styles, incentives, and included features.
Mm-hmm.
Larger home sites and higher tier collections may appeal to buyers wanting more space. And community amenities and trails should be evaluated alongside total recurring cost.
No doubt. Their larger master plan can support a stronger lifestyle amenities. It also means buyers must understand like future phases and construction timelines. Right. You can ask what's been completed, funded, under contract, or merely just planned. Compare the builder's warranty process, and you can determine whether their amenities are shared across the entire community or it's just exclusive to like a particular section.
Right.
And there's a lot of them out that way or that are going to be that way. Silverleaf's the one over across the river, but we'll get into that next time.
Yeah.
You got to evaluate the road access during peak communities and school hours. I always tell people, if you're looking at a brand new home community and there's some people that moved in a little bit already, go at nighttime to see what it is. You go during the day. Nobody, everybody's at work.
Yeah, nobody's there. I always tell them to visit in the morning and in the evening.
Yes.
And see. And also, if it's near the front neighborhood, go visit around 5 o'clock and see what's going on.
No doubt. But a master plan is like a restaurant menu for a photograph. It shows you the vision, but your realtor needs to help determine what actually is being served today.
Absolutely.
All right, we're moving on to another one called Granary Park. It's another Lake Asbury master plan area that has multiple collections and is amenity focused lifestyle. I love that whole barn that they have.
Yeah, up front.
That's
a nice pool. Entrance. Yeah.
But Lennar has offered different home collections throughout the community, and they're actually doing their second to final phase over there right now. Buyers can compare a variety of lot widths, square footage, and price tiers. They have huge resort style amenities, and the major part of it is that value proportion that's there. Lennar's has everything including approach that can simplify your selections. Inventory homes can carry aggressive financing and closing cost incentives as well.
Absolutely. A simplified package can reduce design center surprises for sure. And buyers can still inspect feature sheets line by line. Check HOA and CDD totals anywhere, not just there, anywhere, any new home. Examine future phases and nearby road growth. Determine commute routes before purchasing and drive the route during the actual hours the buyer will travel, not Sunday afternoon when everything looks easy.
Right.
And that goes back kind of like go visit in the morning, afternoons, what have you. So every commute is 12 minutes when the model home salesperson measures it at 10:30 on a Sunday morning.
All right. And so our last community before we kind of start talking about the 55 and older amenities and stuff like that in these other communities is Saratoga Springs. That's one we just started doing the videos on that we're going to be doing more update videos on. And I'm really, really excited about that. And basically what Saratoga Springs is, it represents the next major wave of growth in the Green Cone Springs area. It's planned as a large master plan development west of the city or the town. And the concept includes multiple connected neighborhoods. Plans emphasize trails, parks, farms, community gardens, and an agri-hood style identity. Thousands of homes are anticipated over this multiple phases of this thing. Schools and supporting infrastructure are expected to develop over time. Housing opportunities are expected to include conventional and active adult options. Mm-hmm. Ryan Homes is currently advertising their coming soon Saratoga Springs 55 and older community with prices expected to be in the mid 300s. And we've seen some of those houses because they're not done yet, but we did get to go walk through them.
Right.
And we had a couple sneak peeks of it. The farm style kind of look of these houses and that modern feel. Very, very exciting.
I tell you, I love the floor plan of those homes.
Oh, I'm excited to really jump into those.
And the finishes they're putting on it is just really nice.
The finishes is what make it.
Yeah.
But because this is such a long range development, plan features, builder phases, dates, and infrastructures are really going to change. But buyers should distinguish the difference between approved plans, announced plans, the active construction, and the completed amenities. So right now, Ryan Homes presently lists Saratoga Springs 55 and older is coming soon with the anticipated price between the mid 300s. But we'll get you guys more information about that.
As it comes up, for sure.
As it comes up. But there's a lot to talk about that. So just briefly discussing that in the podcast here. Yeah. We could have one podcast just talking about that in general.
Oh, absolutely. And we're gonna be touching on that regularly through future podcasts because there's so much going on in that neighborhood that I just can't wait to bring it to you.
I know, right?
So, let's move on, Eric. Let's move on to 55 and older, new construction and downsizing, which is something that I think that's something I cater to, if you will.
Yeah.
Because, being 55 plus myself, I know how it feels to need to downsize. I don't have, my kids are out of the house now. We're empty nesters, and we don't want to clean, a 3,000 plus square foot house. So for buyers who are ready to simplify without giving up lifestyle, Edenbrook at Highland Trail deserves serious consideration. As we touched on Highland Trail earlier, it's a great community, but what this is going to have is a gated, active adult 55 and older community. It's made by Lennar, single family, primarily one-story floor plans, amenity-focused lifestyles.
Mm-hmm.
Lennar currently advertises an on-site activities director there, which is a great plus.
Yeah.
Amenities include active and social spaces designed specifically for the resident. Current advertised builder pricing begins in the 300s, but changes with inventory, floor plan, and home site and incentives. Lennar currently lists Edenbrook as actively selling from $339.9 and markets it as an amenity-rich, active adult community with an on-site activities director.
Yeah, no, it's a really cool little community right there.
Yeah, no doubt. When is it time to downsize, as I just touched on?
That's a great question.
Downsizing isn't always about getting a smaller house. Sometimes it's about creating bigger life outside the home.
No.
And, here's when you can figure out when it's about time. Several rooms are rarely used. Exterior maintenance has become physically demanding. The current home no longer fits health or mobility needs. In other words, if you got upstairs, your master's upstairs, and you got knee issues, it's not practical.
Right.
The owner wants a single story layout, and that's where that comes in. Insurance, utility, taxes, and repairs are consuming too much of the budget. And the owner wants to travel more. And that's a big deal too, because when you become empty nesters and you want to see the world, you got a little extra money, you don't have the kids there anymore. You want to travel more. Family members have moved away. The owner wants to build in social opportunities, and a newer home could reduce near-term maintenance concerns.
I tell you that the traveling thing is good, because you were just talking about that with your wife when we went to dinner about Napa Valley and
I'm looking
doing
forward to
the
that.
winery tour.
Yeah.
I was jealous about that a little bit, by the way.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's next year.
But the questions buyers must answer when they're thinking about this is, before buying, we need to ask more than that. Do you like the clubhouse? So do you want an age restricted or a simply low maintenance living? What does the HOA maintain? Is the community gated? Is there an activities director? Which amenities will you realistically use? Are there additional clubs or activity fees? Can younger family members stay for an extended period of time? What are the leasing restrictions? Are golf carts permitted? Oh God, that's a must.
Yeah, it is.
Are fences allowed? What are the pet restrictions? And does the home support aging in place? That's a big thing, because when you get to that age, you don't want to continue to move 2 or 3 times. Right. It's usually 1, maybe 2.
Yeah, well, it's forever home once you get there, basically.
True. And then you also got to make sure the doorways and the bathrooms and entries are accessible, and really how far away are healthcare, grocery stores, family, and recreation. Yeah,
no doubt. And a smaller house does not automatically mean smaller monthly payment.
No.
No, because purchase price, the housing market, the housing prices are going up. Purchase price, current mortgage balance, net proceeds from the existing home, property tax. You have homeowners insurance and the HOA and CDD assessment, utility expenses, maintenance responsibilities, moving expenses.
Yeah.
New furniture or window treatments, and those window treatments can get expensive. Capital gains considerations. Discuss with a tax professional for sure about that. Homestead exemption and portability.
Mm-hmm.
Confirm with a county property appraiser. Whether to sell first, buy first, or coordinate both transactions at the same time. That's a huge point.
That's key.
Yeah.
And that right plan may involve selling first, negotiating a lease back, using temporary housing, or targeting an inventory home that matches that same timeline.
Right. But there's also creative financing, and we can talk about that too.
We can. But the most part is, everything that we talked about, some may have just, kind of went out the window, but get with a trusted realtor that you trust, or give us a call, and we earn that trust, and you can talk to us about it, and we'll explain all this stuff.
Sure.
I love telling people, you can ask me the same question 50 times, and I'm going to answer it to you the same way 50 times. And I'm not going to think anything of it.
No.
Because Buyers, when they're going through that emotional period, they don't listen to half the things that get thrown in front of them.
Right.
There's so much going on.
They're so stressed. I mean,
and especially when you get to this point in your life and you're trying to decide what you want to do, usually it's a positive thing, but at the same time, it could be stressful because you could have been living in that previous house and raised your entire family there. Right. And gone to the ages and have a lot of memories. Mm-hmm. And that sometimes isn't very easy at all either.
No. And so we touched on Saratoga and Highland Trail, but there's a couple of more new 55 and older communities that are in the process of being built. And as they come along, we'll bring those to you.
Absolutely. I definitely want to start making segments on the podcast. We'll come up with a usual topic that we'll talk about, but we're going to start diving into, our new home construction area, and we'll dive into what updates are happening with each community.
Right.
And then we'll give you the updates on, what's going on in the 55 and older sections too, because that's super important for the Florida area.
And before we close out here, there's one thing I want to touch on today. This afternoon, I think like 4 to 7, the Rookery is having their grand opening.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So by the time this hits the airwaves, though, it may be too late, but it's going on today.
They're doing a lot for that. I know that you and I are going to that. So that's wonderful. But hey guys, buying a new construction home can be one of the most exciting moves you'll ever make. You get modern floor plans, new systems, builder warranties, energy efficient features, and that opportunity to create something that truly fits your life. But new does not mean simple. The on-site sales representative knows the builder's homes, but the representative works for that builder. You deserve someone who is looking at the home site, the incentives, the lender, the contract, the inspection, the HOA and the CDD, the future development, and long-term resale position for your side of the table. And here's the most important part. Contact your realtor before you walk into that model home.
Yes.
Register online or schedule that builder tour. Waiting until afterwards may limit your ability to bring your own representation to the transaction.
Absolutely. So take that complimentary water bottle, eat that cookie, sit on a fancy model home couch. Just don't sign a 6-figure contract without somebody protecting your side.
So if you're considering anything here in Lake Asbury, Green Cove Springs area, or even Northeast Florida area, and if you are considering the Rookery, Annabelle Island, Lake Isabella Lago, Highland Trail, Granary Park, Eldenbrook, Saratoga Springs, again, any new construction here in Northeast Florida, reach out to us before you visit, because we compare the builders, we uncover the real costs, we explain the incentives, we help coordinate your inspections and guide you from that first model home tour through the final walkthrough. And when I say that we know the builder stuff, we've talked about this briefly. We would discuss that we go through some of the builder training if they allow us to. So we're doing that. And we know sometimes just as much as some of the representatives that are there.
Yeah.
But we can sell anything in the area, not just that builder. So call, text us, or message us with anything that you want, but message us with words of new home, and we'll help you build a personalized community and build their game plan. So if you like this episode, subscribe to us and share it with anyone thinking about buying a brand new house. And remember, we've got that new website that's coming out. I'm really excited about that. I've been working really, really hard on that.
Yeah, I can't wait.
And instead of having to go to all these different builder websites or go to Google, just go to the rakershomegroup.com and everything will be laid out in front of it. You'll be able to compare communities, specific wants and needs, and it's all going to turn to a chart and create a new construction plan for you. That way, when we go visit and tour these homes, you're going to have a really good attack plan that's going to get what you want.
Yeah, you'll be ahead of the game at the beginning.
So until next week, guys, I appreciate you listening, and we'll see you next week.
Take care, everybody.